In your own words, describe your trading style.
It would be a shorter term chart, usually like a 4 hour or 1 hour. And I'd be looking to get in on day one and get out no longer than 2 days later. And normally I'm targeting about 30 to 50%. So that's kind of like my, for lack of a better term, a signature trade.
So I am in many ways a very classic trend trader, right? So trend trading, the recipe is the same no matter how you do it, right? So that recipe is identify the direction of the dominant trend, wait for a counter trend retrace, wait for the retrace to exhaust, and then enter a trade in the direction of the dominant trend, right? So there are lots of ways to play it. You can use moving averages. You can use, all sorts of stuff, right? And for me, that's where the voodoo comes in, right? So the tools I use are going to be a lot of those tools that people often dismiss as being voodoo. We're going to use Elliott Wave to identify the trend. We're going to use Fibonacci and Fibonacci clusters to identify where some of those counter trend moves might exhaust.
My trading style, actually, it's mainly equities and it's all based on emotions. So for the most part, I try to be as simple as possible. We're literally buying something at one price, selling at the next. I usually have a variable risk level, like Sam was saying, because there's different type of situations. There will be my typical situation where I'm buying something at the way end of the day, so from 3 o'clock to 4 p.m. Eastern. In that last hour, I tend to find stocks that have had a pattern that I like or created some sort of volume that looks interesting. And as long as it's closing above the levels that I think are significant and with that significant volume that I like, I think the odds are high for it to follow up the next day. Now, depending on certain variables, I'll risk a little more. So what I'll do is I'll try to just one night to the next, risking about 1 to 5% and looking to make 10 to 15%. And then it can change depending on the variable. And every day there's a watch list at 3 o'clock that I try to stick to. And I've been doing that since 2017.